race ahead of the standards like that, things get fragmented. So I'm not sure that it's a strong argument anymore that Apple is standing up for open standards and rejecting plugins. To me, the motivation is a little bit more about control, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because Apple's done some really fantastic things. Like, where would we be on mobile if the iPhone hadn't come out? Before the iPhone, it was fractured. The user experience was horrible. People never went online with their mobile devices, and we floundered for like a decade trying to get around that. iPhone comes out, all of that starts coming together. Awesome. But the problem with not allowing people the choice of using a runtime or using a plugin is that it starts to become very, very restrictive. Consider this. If tomorrow Apple decides that they want to introduce some new kind of device, and people are using a plugin or runtime on their existing devices, now they need the cooperation of that plugin creator. In this case, if it's Flash, we'd say Adobe. They would have to go to Adobe and say, look, we want to come out with a new device. Can you make sure that your plugin, which is popular on our existing device, is going to work on our new device, which means they have to give them access to the specs of it, they have to hook up the teams of developers and so forth, and it can actually slow down the process of introducing a new device to market. Well, Apple makes their money on the devices. Like, yeah, they make software, but when it comes right down to it, it's the hardware sales that they are really into. So anything that is going to stand in the way of them progressing at the speed that they want is going to be a problem, including the W3C. If they're not moving fast enough on HTML5, well, Apple's shown that they're not above racing ahead of that and kind of creating their own standards. Now, they're popular enough that maybe it would get accepted, but maybe not. If they're not very careful, they could easily fracture the few fragile standards that we have. And then things become tougher for the developers, the experience becomes worse for the users and so forth. So, I guess I've said my piece on this issue. It remains to be seen whether Apple will stand tight on this stance. I kind of think that they will. So I guess the consumers, the public, will vote with their dollars, as always. And we will see what happens with these runtimes. I will say that the runtime is going to work on a lot of devices in the future. There are a huge number of, for instance, Android-based mobile devices that are coming out this year that are going to be perfectly capable of running Flash. The Flash 10.1 release, that's the latest version of the Flash player, is a very significant update to the Flash player because it actually renders its graphics using OpenGL ES. That must have been a huge development effort for the team at Adobe, but this is something that they're doing to make sure that Flash will run speedy and with lower power consumption on mobile devices. It also gives them the opportunity to add a lot more capability, things like multi-touch that they're adding into the Air runtime and so forth. If that means anything to you, then great. If it doesn't, then suffice it to say that there is going to be a choice. If you want to see Flash on a mobile device, you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to have a wide variety of devices that can do that. That is kind of the other thing about Apple's stance, is that they are sort of setting themselves up to be Apple versus everybody else. We'll see how that goes. So those are the three top stories on the Oddly site, and I hope you enjoyed this little recap of the week. I hope your week is going great, and whatever you're doing this week, drop me a line. I'd love to hear about it. Jump on the site, leave a comment about the stories. That's always welcome. This is going to be a big week up at the college. I'm receiving assignments from some of my students there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with. So all of you guys, if you're watching this broadcast, you should be working right now. All right, that's it for Oddly Sunday. Take care, guys, and I will check with you on the next one. All right, see ya.